the current Honduran government has gone to extraordinary lengths to try and maintain a positive relationship with the Trump administration, right? I mean, they cooperated on immigration things. They were a bridge to deportations to Venezuela, right? They have not been, outspoken against big U.S. policies.
Hondurans are voting to elect a new president just days after U.S. President Donald Trump threw a curveball into the close race, endorsing one candidate and announcing he would pardon a former president. Hondurans I've spoken to say Trump's moves did not affect their decisions they had made weeks in advance. Trump's announcement that he will pardon former President Juan Hernandez has given Hondurans a lot to talk about. Hernandez was sentenced to 45 years in a U.S. prison last year for helping drug traffickers move hundreds of tons of cocaine through Honduras to the United States. U.S. prosecutors said that at one point he boasted that he would help traffickers shove cocaine right up the gringos' noses. Hernandez does still have defenders in Honduras who say that he was the victim of revenge by drug traffickers that he helped extradite to the United States.
Un perdón para traer de nuevo al crimen organizado, para traer la organización criminal más grande que ha tenido Honduras. Lo que ha ocurrido ayer es un nuevo crimen. Y ese nuevo crimen lo vamos a juzgar mañana.
No entiendo yo por qué Donald Trump se presta a esto, ¿verdad? De venir a decir que está en contra del narcotráfico cuando está apoyando a un narcotraficante el cual quiere liberar para mandar aquí a Honduras.
Gangs themselves have adapted to this new reality, particularly under the state of exception, and resorted less to public displays of violence and homicides, and more to more subtle tools such as forced disappearances.
Nosotros lo que queremos es una paz para Honduras y tener un nuevo presidente. Eso es lo que queremos, lo que sea.
Y hace un poco logramos hablar finalmente con Juan Hernandez. Él no sabía todavía de esta noticia. Y créanme que cuando se la compartimos, su voz se partió de la emoción. Oró dando gracias a Dios y gracias a él también, porque pronto como familia vamos a estar juntos.
A él no le comprobaron nada, ningún video, ninguna cosa de esas.
But Trump's decision to pardon him has ignited candidates from the other parties who say voters can make sure that Hernández and his supporters are not able to mount a comeback.
Lo vamos a juzgar mañana en la urna. No volverán.
President Donald Trump held his last cabinet meeting of the year on Tuesday. And in response to questions from reporters, he made some revealing news. First, with regard to the boat strikes in Venezuela that happened in September, there had been reports about a second strike that took out survivors. In this case, there was no denial that a second strike occurred. In fact, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said during the meeting he was part of the fog of war.
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. It was exploded in fire or smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war.
And Trump sought to defend the maneuver by the U.S. military. Secondly, we saw the president go into new territory with regard to the possibility of land strikes in Venezuela or even Colombia. The president said he was willing to attack any country involved in the manufacturing of cocaine or fentanyl. And then lastly, he talked about Somali immigrants, and he indicated that he wants them out of the country, saying that they're overly dependent on social support.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you.
It was kind of an explosive moment because we've seen that the president in recent days has really sought to remove the legal status of immigrants living in this country, such as Somalis and Afghans, after the shooting of 2 National Guard members last week.